Nufi, sir, you're welcome.
Very much for having me.
To the question, sir. A lot seems to have happened in the polity within the last 48 hours. There was a cabinet reshufflement in the Buhari administration, and this has generated some controversy across the nation. What is your reaction to this development, sir?
Well, I believe it's a welcome development in the sense that it will appear that there's a resemblance of governance because governance is about rewarding and also punishing. And if truly this action is taken by the government because of lack of performance on the part of the two ministers, as one reads in the papers, then I think this is long awaited. I mean, we're waiting for this kind of action since the kind of administration. Uh, this is the sixth year of the administration, and the regret is that it is just now that the government is waking up to its responsibility because what an economy like this country requires, 20th century economy, is a president that is hands-on, engaged, with his lieutenants, those who are discharging responsibilities in various sectors of the economy, like the ministers. They are not majors. We expect them, to sometimes not meet his expectations because I know that he was knowing them for the first time, on close quarters, most of them. And definitely, as human beings, you will discover that they may not meet your expectations. And if the government was on, on sports, I mean, on top of the situation, as it is supposed to be, some of them would have changed even portfolios. It's not in all cases that you sack ministers. They can change portfolios. You can move one from like, the one in agriculture, maybe to trade. You can take the one in trade to even oil and gas sector. You know, through that, you will now be able to enhance performance of the government. But when the ministry or the minister fails to meet certain targets that are very crucial to the growth of the economy, then of course you show the minister a way out. Or when something happens that does not tally with the policy of the government, and then the personality involved, perhaps is not amenable to change. uh, what happened, should happen. So, like I said, it's a welcome development, but I think it goes beyond that because it is about performance. I think we should look at the core sectors of the economy and see how have we been performing in those sectors, particularly the oil and gas sector. Because in this country, in this economy, the oil and gas sector plays fundamental role, a dominant role in the way our economy operates. If you look at the backward and forward, linkages between the oil and gas sector and other sectors of the economy, then perhaps it's not power, because when you look at power sector, power needs gas, as situation is before you can have steady supply of electricity, as a component of source of energy that we have in this country. So, and even agriculture, we need inputs, most of whom are also coming from the petroleum sector. So you first of all will have to address the source, of the problem, which I think the revenue of the oil and gas sector, which the president is pretending, it is below average, and that's why we're where we are today. So if there's anybody that should be sacked or should leave that portfolio, I think it's the president himself that should excuse himself out of that, portfolio and identify a dynamic young person that can really be on top of the situation, so that this economy can now receive the kind of treatment it requires. So I think I'm not saying he shouldn't sack his minister, he should, but first of all, let us look at what is happening in the petroleum sector. Our refineries are not working, and we are spending billions on refineries. The issue of petroleum subsidy is there, where trillions of naira is being lost, and nobody's accountable. Nobody's telling us what is happening. So how do you now jump from petroleum and you start, talking about sacking somebody in agriculture and power when the main the propelling sector of the economy is left untouched?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. What should Nigerians be expecting from the sectors affected, and what is your advice to the newly appointed ministers?
Well, my advice to them, they are not new in the administration. They are pretending over some other, like the one from the environment and the one from, I think the other one from the data works or something like that. That the one taken to the power sector and the one taken to pretend over agriculture. They are not new. They have been in this government since perhaps some of them since the inception of the government or since the second coming of President Buhari. So my advice to them is that all of them should please hit the ground running and let Nigerians receive what is called dividends of democracy. Because this country, this economy, is an economy that can perform 100% better than what we are doing today. This is an economy that has all that it takes. It has the ingredients, it has the resources, it has the human capital, it has the space. So what is it that is holding them back? So I don't understand why we have an economy like this. We have a government that has everything to itself because they have the National Assembly, they have the judiciary to a very large extent, they are in charge of the executive. So what is it that the government needs that they don't have? And they borrow, as they it suits them, and nobody's checking them. The National Assembly does not say go and borrow. They never take anything to the National Assembly which they reject. So where is the problem? You talk about the global economic, situations. Yes, we understand there are certain things that are external to the ability of the government. But what about things that are within their power to do? Like repairing our refineries, ensuring that, because I talk about refineries because it costs a lot of our money unnecessarily. All these subsidies we're talking about, if the oil and gas was run the way it's been run since the coming of President Buhari, we would not be where we are today. The economy will not be as bad as it is because what is required, the source energy supply to any economy is very, very important. You don't joke with it. So, like the new ministers, my advice to them is to please rise to the occasion and then give the Nigerians the required performance that we expect.
I heard you, or if I heard you clearly, you're only talking about the oil and gas. Is it that you preferred the government looking into the oil and gas and minister, or instead of sacking the ministers presently?
Yeah, the point I'm making is that if you look at our economy, 90% of what we get as foreign exchange comes from the oil and gas sector. 65% of the revenue that this economy makes, which government makes to run the economy, comes from the oil and gas sector. If you look at the backward linkages between other sectors of the economy and the oil and gas sector is so enormous, that sector should not be run the way it's being run today. That's the point I'm making. And if you talk about agriculture, you need money, capital, to really run the agriculture in the manner it's required. And not only that, the government also needs to take a step back and see how the other fundamental key institutions in the economy are also operating. For instance, you allow the central bank governor to take over agriculture from the agriculture minister. How do you see his performance when the monies that are supposed to be invested in agriculture does not go to the agriculture minister? It goes to the central bank manager the central bank governor that goes all over the place and giving $1 billion to somebody. They should come to central bank instead of them to go to what do you call it, to Minister of Agriculture. Agriculture has been reduced to a backroom boy, and then you have somebody who has no business, with agriculture issue, now leaving our naira to its fate, instead of the central bank manager, central bank governor concentrating on ensuring that our foreign exchange, is not at the rate what it is today. They left their fundamental role as enshrined in their act, and then pursuing shadow things that have no relevance, with monetary policy. So yes, pricing stability is okay. But there are people that are appointed by the same president, like the agriculture minister. I'm not surprised that he's not performing. He couldn't perform. How does he perform? When it is the minister, when it's the bank manager, the governor of the central bank that will go and say, I'm launching a pyramid of rice production or something like that. You turn the pyramid on his head and you expect the government to run. So you shouldn't, create confusion and then look for a scapegoat.
Thank you, sir. How would you rate the present administration economic indices, given the reported growth in the nation's GDP in the last quarter?
They should stop deceiving Nigerians, because the fact of the matter is that there was a lockdown and this economy shrank by almost minus 6.1% in 2020. And when you open up the economy, of course, what do you expect? People will travel, there will be increase in activities and things like that. So there's no magic here. There's nothing super. There's nothing that will excite anybody who wants to be sincere about what the 5.01% they say the economy year on year, in second quarter compared to second quarter of 2020 and second quarter of 2021. That is, digressing from the reality. The reality of this economy is that we must grow this economy in the proper way. And the proper way is to this economy in 7 years ago, was performing, at a higher rate, than what we are having today. So they should please stop deceiving us that the economy is growing. It's not growing. There's nothing growing. What has happened is that you lock up if you have a shop, you are selling things, and then all of a sudden you walk up and you lock up the shop. Are you going to have money coming into your coffers? No. So any day you decide to now open up your shop and people will come to buy. Of course, you have received more money, and there are more activities in your affairs, in your personal affairs, because you can be able to pay your school fees, you can be able to do this and that. So that's what has happened to the Nigerian economy. There's nothing fantastic that's happened in this economy that will excite anybody. They should not deceive us, please. They should get to work and grow the economy in the proper way, so that the real sectors will start performing, like the agriculture sector, manufacturing sector. They should grow those sectors of the economy, and they should repair refineries, so that we'll be adding value from oil and gas sector to our economy too.
With all of these challenges, how can we get out of the woods and have our economy bounce back again?
Vote out this government, 2023. Vote out this government. They have outlived their uselessness. Believe me, they don't know their onions at all. They don't even know what it means to run a first century economy like Nigeria. Believe you me, I'm telling you, it's true, and they know it themselves that they've lost track. They've lost, the direction, because they didn't have any plan before. So if you have a government that lacks credibility, lacks organization, lacks capacity, what do you think will happen? You will not have anybody coming to bring his money into this economy. And this economy needs to attract foreign investment before you can grow this economy. We are not an agrarian economy per se. We are an economy that is key, that is playing key role in the global economic setting. And you don't run the economy like this. You don't run a government like what they are doing now. You ask them, why did you start all those ministers? What do they tell you? You talk about the power minister. Power minister needs gas, before you can have electricity. Where is the gas? Petroleum sector has to work. Are you generating enough gas to give electricity to Nigerians? You talk about agriculture. You take agriculture to central bank, and you say the money is not working. How does it work?
That's all. Thank you for coming to the program, sir. Well, viewers, you've all heard from our guests, Engineer Yabagi Yusuf Sani, the National Chairman of the Action Democratic Party, ADP. This is how far we can go on today's episode. Until we come your way again on the same station, do have a good day. Bye. Let me thank very sincerely our guest, Engineer Sani, for making it always on this program towards 2023. Let me also thank you, our viewers out there, for watching Forward TV Until we come your way again on the same station, Forward TV, goodbye.